Dodgers to reinstate Clayton Kershaw. Tyler Glasnow. The Dodgers have been scrambling to fill their rotation lately but will get a couple of big reinforcements back in the coming days. Manager Dave Roberts tells reporters that right-hander Tyler Glasnow and left-hander Clayton Kershaw will each come off the injured list to start on Wednesday and Thursday respectively. Kershaw is on the 60-day IL and will need a 40-man roster spot to be open prior to taking the ball. Mike DiGiovanna of the Los Angeles Times was among those to relay the news on X. It's a pretty big moment for Kershaw, who is coming back from the most significant absence of his career. The southpaw went under the knife in November to repair the gleno-humeral ligaments and capsule of his left shoulder. Those surgeries for pitchers have become quite commonplace in today's baseball landscape. This was actually the first one for the veteran. Kershaw was a workhorse earlier in his career but has had some health issues in recent seasons. From 2010 to 2015, he logged at least 198 innings for 6 straight years but hasn't hit that number since. Recent years have seen him miss time here and there, often due to back issues, but the shoulder was the big concern in 2023. He somehow managed to toss 131 2/3 innings with a 2.55 earned run average despite his fastball velocity declining throughout the season, but then was torched in his lone playoff start, only recording 1 out against the Diamondbacks while being charged with 6 earned runs. The shoulder issue eventually required the aforementioned surgery in November, and then he re-signed with the Dodgers in February. The deal is a 2-year pact with the second season being a player option. Kershaw has a base salary of just $5 million in both years of the deal, but with the ability to earn far more if he's healthy. He gets an extra $1 million for getting to 6 starts, $1.5 million each for his 7th, 8th and 9th starts, and then $2 million after his 10th. The Dodgers can't get around this by using an opener, as a relief outing wherein Kershaw records at least 9 outs also counts. At this point in the calendar, it's still possible for Kershaw to unlock all of those bonuses, and there are similar escalators for his 2025 option. He began a rehab assignment by pitching 3 innings at the Single-A level on June 19. He was then shut down due to some shoulder soreness, but Roberts downplayed the significance and Kershaw restarted his rehab assignment again more recently. He tossed 3 innings for AAA Oklahoma City last Saturday, and then 4 innings on Friday, getting up to 67 pitches in the most recent outing. He's now set to resume a big league career that already includes 2,712 2/3 innings with a 2.48 ERA. Glasnow's absence was far more mild, as he landed on the IL prior to the break due to some low back tightness, but the dual returns are significant for the Dodgers as they have had plenty of rotation challenges. Dustin May and Emmett Sheehan are each done for the year, with Tony Gonsolin likely to be in that camp as well. Yoshinobu Yamamoto has a rotator cuff strain that landed him on the 60-day IL, meaning he can't return before mid-August. Bobby Miller struggled enough to get optioned down to the minors, while Walker Buehler was ineffective before landing on the IL with a hip issue. Amid all of those issues, the Dodgers have been using a rotation of veteran James Paxton, rookies Gavin Stone, Justin Wrobleski and Landon Knack, as well as occasional bullpen games. Getting Glasnow and Kershaw into that mix obviously helps, and the club will be promoting prospect River Ryan soon as well. Though that group is about to be much stronger than it was heading into the All-Star break, the Dodgers are still expected to pursue rotation upgrades prior to the July 30th deadline. They have been connected to Garrett Crochet of the White Sox for weeks now, and Bob Nightingale of USA Today mentions the fit again this morning, also adding that the club has interest in Tarek Skubal of the Tigers. Though the Dodgers' interest in Crochet has been known for a while, Nightingale adds that the Dodgers have discussed a blockbuster deal that would see them also acquire outfielder Luis Robert Jr. and maybe even reliever Michael Kopech as well. That's not necessarily a big surprise, as teams usually discuss all kinds of various trade scenarios, with many of them not coming close to fruition. But that does align with recent comments from President of Baseball Operations Andrew Friedman, who suggested the Dodgers would be more focused on impact additions as opposed to marginal upgrades. The club has some holes but is understandably shooting for the stars at this point. They have made the playoffs in 11 straight years now and spent wildly in the off-season, adding Yamamoto and Shohei Ohtani and others. Making the postseason for a 12th straight year won't really count as an accomplishment for the club or its fans, so aiming high at the deadline and trying for a World Series seems to be the play. Crochet would obviously fit the bill since he's been one of the best pitchers in the league this year with a 3.02 ERA and 35.2% strikeout rate through 20 starts. There are some concerns about his workload since he's already thrown more innings this year than in his entire professional career prior to this campaign, but he should be able to provide an impact even if moved to some kind of relief role down the stretch. Robert also has some durability concerns as he's only tallied 100 games in a season once, but that one occurrence was quite impressive. He got into 145 contests for the Sox last year and hit 38 home runs, stole 20 bases and provided quality defense in center field. Injuries have been a problem before and have cropped up again this year, as he missed 2 months due to a right hip flexor strain. But he's been great in his limited time, with 11 homers and 11 steals in just 45 games. His 32.6% strikeout rate is a career high, but his 10.2% walk rate is almost twice his career pace. He could fit into a Dodger outfield that has seen Mookie Betts move to the infield and then head to the injured list. Teoscar Hernandez is having a good year, but it's flimsy apart from that. Andy Pages and Miguel Vargas are doing well overall, but most of their damage has come against lefties. Ideally, they would be platooned with Jason Hayward, but Hayward is also on the IL. James Outman is hitting just .153/.250/.258 on the year and was optioned to the minors for a while, only getting recalled when Hayward went on the shelf. Utility players Chris Taylor, Enrique Hernandez and Kevin Biggio have also struggled. In addition to their talents, both players would be incredibly attractive due to their financial situations. Crochet is in his first arbitration season, but his injury absences have limited him to a salary of $800,000 this year. He has 2 ARB seasons left after this one and will be in line for a decent raises, but from a very modest base. Robert is making $12.5 million this year, far more than Crochet but still a bargain for a player of his talents. He'll then make $15 million next year with a pair of $20 million club options after that. Each player has significant trade value in a vacuum, but it would take a massive blockbuster haul for the Dodgers to get both. Their farm system is considered strong, but whether a deal can come together or not will depend on what kind of price the Sox are asking for and what other teams are offering. But at 27-73 and with a farm system that isn't especially well regarded, it makes sense the Sox are considering trading almost anyone, and it seems they are doing just that. Kopech can't match either Crochet or Robert in terms of huge appeal, but he would have some value in his own right. After some inconsistent results as a starter, the Sox have been using him as their closer this year with some interesting but mixed results. His 5.05 ERA isn't going to wow anyone and his 12.7% walk rate is concerning, but he has punched out 30.9% of batters faced. He's only making $3 million this year and can be retained via arbitration for another season after this. As for Skubal, it's understandable why the Dodgers or any other club would be interested. He is a Cy Young candidate this year with a 2.41 ERA, 30.8% strikeout rate, 4.6% walk rate and 47.4% ground ball rate. He's making a modest $2.65 million and has 2 seasons of club control beyond this one. But that also makes him plenty appealing to the Tigers, and it's fair to wonder how available he is. The club once seemed buried in the standings but have been hot lately, winning 11 of their last 14 and climbing to within 5 games of a playoff spot. Getting Skubal away from Detroit was probably going to take a haul even when they were in cellar position, but it's probably become more difficult in recent weeks.